And now this year, Paulina Zalitsky reports that about 2,200 feet below Cuba's western tip, she has found, quote, a huge land plateau with clear images of what appears to be man-made, large-sized architectural designs partly covered by sand. From above, the shapes resemble pyramids, roads, and buildings, unquote. This week, I talked with both Paulina Zalitsky and Paul Weinswag and learned that in addition to the sonar images this late summer, they were able to get a videotape camera and lights down for a preliminary view in the underwater site with a robotic ocean vehicle known as an ROV.
So these are actual cameras?
Yeah, they actually have some preliminary videotape.
Huh.
And over the past several months...
Everybody should know how important this story is, because everybody shut their mouth. As you investigated, we found out National Geographic was looking into it and had an ongoing project, and they shut their mouths. Boy, they wouldn't tell us a thing.
Everybody has been very quiet.
Paulina Zalitsky wouldn't say anything?
Right, and I've had an agreement with Mr. Weinswag, her husband, in which I can discuss their progress with the site, but will only report publicly when I have their permission. And now is a portion of our most recent discussion.
Some say between 6,000 and 15,000 years ago, a megalithic city off the coast of western Cuba suddenly sank into the surrounding ocean. In the early 2000s, the drowned enigmatic city was subsequently rediscovered, filmed, but never fully explored. This documentary will attempt to show how that film was deliberately doctored and altered to conceal intelligently designed, polished, light-colored hewn granite blocks by use of masking, green screen, and other video editing techniques, and also by close inspection of the video show never before noted blocks that were hiding in plain sight. Wishes well doing, and welcome back to Rebooting History. It's been over 2 decades since the discovery of the Cuban sunken site known as Mega. Let's not let it go by the wayside. Let's give the archaeologists and the naysayers and those preventing further honest exploration of this site the boot. In 1959, Edwin Link, a pioneer in underwater archaeology, was dredging the ocean floor off of the southeastern coast of Jamaica. In his daily haul, in amongst the sand and gravel, was this colonial pocket watch. The hands had been long broken, but after the watch was studied and x-rayed, it was determined to have been stopped at 11:43. This was the exact time in the summer morning of 1692 a 7.5 magnitude earthquake struck the ill-fated English port city of Port Royal. Port Royal was at the time the most decadent English port in the New World. The port city featured many 4-story buildings with all the lavishness of London. The bustling trade city was home to the largest population of the English in the New World. After 2 minutes, 3/4 of the city became submerged. The earth opened up and many people were swallowed into the ground. 1/4 mile, about 38 acres, were gone. A large portion of the urban area simply subsided straight down into the ocean, and now resides 40 feet below the sea. Over half of the residents were killed instantly or died later from disease and starvation. In the same highly tectonic region, another apparent city may have been submerged in much the same way. The city was located nearby in Cuba, within the Guanahassibibes Peninsula, at the base of a mud volcano, which presumably sank thousands of years before Port Royal. Paulina Zalitsky, an oceanographer, discovered the city in the early 2000s. Shortly after, the site was making headlines around the world, but today is largely dismissed. These pictures were at the time released to the press, and the area was also filmed. Upon close inspection of the film, I will attempt to show how the film was doctored and altered. This right here has been all masked out. I believe this is a mask right here because they don't want you seeing to the left. To me, there's something over here, probably some other geometrical shapes, and they're trying to block this out. This is a mask right here. Okay guys, this is the normal. Down here in the corners you can see there's like a little bit of shadowing, a little bit of masking, but this is basically how you're supposed to be seeing this picture. There's no dark shadow, no completely blacked out on the left side. Okay, now I wanted to show you what I call the hidden cube. They released a picture of one cube, but I think I have found another one and I want to show you where it is. There's the mask again right there, and here's coming up on the cube. So I think this light right here, this is a light source, and it's shining off something here. Because why would this be a light? Why would the light be reflecting right here? I'm gonna let it play. Right here, I think there's a cube in here. There's a cube. Let it play, and then come over here. And this is the cube that's really the famous one that they've been showing all the time. I'm gonna rewind it like this. In between here, there's this cube. I think is a cube. This is the bottom part, like a panel on the floor. And it's gonna come off here at an angle straight up. Here's two right angles, and there's another angle here. This is the corner of the cube. There it is. You can barely see it right there when I go like this. It's almost like they invisibled it. But it's right here. There's another cube right here. Or this is basically what it is. It's a block. And then in between the blocks you have this gap right here. There's a gap in between the two blocks. And you come over here to the, whoops, let me go back the other way. So, start again. Whoop. Here's the bottom again, and then what we're pivoting. You can see the cube right there, and in between there's a gap, and there's actually with this other cube here, there's a gouge out of this. There's a gouge out of this. This is kind of like an L shaped. There's an L shape to this, and then we'll come over here to the famous cube. What they call a cube, or this is like a geometric square shape, and you can see it's blown out right here. They really enhanced the. So what you're looking at is a blown out picture right here. They've blown this out by overexposing it with bright, and then they've got it masked on this side. So like, what the heck? Like, they're really trying to hide this, right? You're really trying to like mess this up. It's a blown out picture, but what this tells us though is that this is a light source. This is why I say this one over here is a light source. This light is reflecting it off of right here. This is a wall right here. Go back across, and then you can almost see that gap in there. See that gap in there? Right there. And there's the L kind of shape. It's kind of hard to see right now, but we're coming right through there. There's like a chunk out of this square. Come over here. Here's the flat wall there. Goes down, and then here's the bottom of the cube. It comes up right here to a square. It's like almost like a marshmallow top here. It's like a soft top, and then we're going to be able to see this back wall there. The other part of it. Just see how this is kind of, it appears invisible. That's what they did to the other cube over there. They invisibled it. But this time we're going to follow this one all the way through along the wall here. This is what would be a 90-degree angle right here. This is all blacked out on this side. On the left-hand side, it's blacked out because I'm sure there's more of these things they don't want you to see. And then right here is the back side of the cube. Right here, it's straight up and down. I think this is important because having one block is one thing, but having two blocks side by side, it makes a big difference. It's not just an anomaly of one square block. There's two of them side by side with a gap in between with right angles. And that's the cube. And what I think is what I call the hidden cube. So let's look here at the only strange feature: an unidentified flat thin plate protruding out of a deep wall. This feature remains the only true mystery of Mega. And as soon as the camera started coming over here to this spot, you'll notice that they blurred it out. They pixeled it. See how this is all pixeled right here? This is all pixeled. And there's the plate. Okay, here's our camera, and plus we're like darkened out right here. Where we got like a double mask right here. We have two masks on both sides this time. We got a blur because we can see it's blurred down here where the letters are supposed to be, and here's this thing protruding out of the what's funny about this, I don't know if you can see it right here. This is what would be the layers of like sedimentary rock. And this thing is, whatever this thing is, the square thing is stuck in the middle of these layers, like it's buried. It's buried in the middle of the layers. You can't even see it right now. They completely blurred this out. They overexposed the middle here of the picture. And here's, look, you can see that this is all pixelated right here. It's all pixelated. You can see the plankton and stuff going by, but this is clearly, this is obviously pixelated right here. You could even see it, and it's so obvious. Like they really don't want you looking, right? And I still can't see anything. Can you? And there we go. Now they stopped the picture. Here's the pause picture, and there's what they say is the most interesting thing there is. Okay, guys. Now I want to show you what I think is a match cut. It says offshore western Cuba, water deep 705 meters, rocks at the sea floor. The composition of the rocks cannot be established. They display signs of erosion and solution. Okay, what I think is going to be happening now, right before your eyes, is a match cut. So here's the rocks. They're on the bottom of the ocean. Just regular rocks. Some kind of a boulder, you know? The camera's going to pan over. Here we are in our submarine. No masks going on. No other kind of blurring or pixelation. There are not any indication of man-made elements in these rocks. So we're going to come over here, and there's some kind of like thing like protruding out of the ground, like a rock formation protruding off the sea bottom. There it is. You can kind of see it. Like it's looking like some kind of like a shape, and now it's going to come into this like. And I want to establish that this is the sea floor. What we're looking at, it's a sea floor. We have this kind of like a run of like this rock formation. And it looks almost right now like it's a little bit of triangular shaped. Okay. Now it's just the sea floor, right? We're looking at the sea floor. And now as soon as this thing goes away, off camera, now we have our match cut. It's a triangular shape, right? Right there, I think there was a little flash right there, and now we're coming into something different. This is something different. It does look like it, but I think it's something different. There's some kind of a strange like little fog area up here in the middle. In the middle of the screen, there's this like fog area, kind of like a weird blur happening. And we can see our triangular shape in there. I'm gonna let it play. There's all the plankton, going around. Camera's kind of being unstable, and all of a sudden, we're gonna appear this triangular shape, but it's not what we were looking at before. This is something different. This is something different because we're going to follow this thing all the way down, and we're going to establish that this is the sea floor down here on the bottom. It's like a pedestal. I'm going to go back. There's the pedestal on the bottom, and we know this is because we can see like there's layers of rock right here, like sedimentary, earth or whatever it was, sea bottom. I'm not sure if it's rock or whatever. It probably is some kind of a rock, but it's like a pedestal, and we have this triangular shape on this pedestal, and the pedestal is pointing up. This triangular shape is pointing up towards the ocean. There's no seafloor up here. I mean, there's no seafloor, right? This is to me, it's surrounded by water, and it's pointing up towards the ocean, towards the surface. I'm gonna run it back. We're gonna compare it to the land-based formation that was found on Cuba in 1967. It's another triangular shape that was on a pedestal, and they mentioned, like, they compare it to the anomalies in this area. They use that for a comparison, because there's one of those things that were discovered in 1967 in the late 60s near the Guanahasa-Bibes Peninsula, where this mega area is. So here we go. We're writing now. Now we're back. Let's go like this, and now we're back to the match cut happened, and we're back to the rocks. This is like the rocks in the ocean. There's it's sea floor. All of your, like, top of your picture here will be this thing is not pointing up towards the ocean surface. It's like in the ground. It's like in the ground, in my opinion. It's part of this rock right here. See how it's not the ocean around it. It's like it's not pointing up at the ocean no more. I'm gonna let it go like this. You can see there's ocean floor. This is all ocean floor at the top of the screen. Ocean floor, ocean floor. And as part of this, whatever this kind of big old boulder thing it was. Now, knowing what I know, this could be granite, you know. It could be limestone, but I don't know for sure, but it kind of looks like granite to me. Let's do it one more time. This is what I call the match cut. Here we are coming over here to this rock formation. We're going along to the rock formation, and we can kind of see there's a little pointed action right here. The kind of middle bottom of the screen. We're going to follow it down until it becomes a triangular shape. And there, now it's a triangular shape. It sure does look like the one what we're going to be match cutting to. I'm going to go like this so you can just kind of see it one more time. This is not, so it shouldn't be pointing up. This thing should not be pointing up right up to the top of the ocean. It should be part of the ground. But when this thing goes away, right there, right, the match cut happens right now. There's a little flicker, and to me, now the match cut happened. Now we're back, and we're back. This whatever this thing is now is different. To me, it's pointing right at the top of the ocean. There's no more ocean floor. There's no more ocean floor up here. It's the ocean. It's sea. Let it play. It sure does look like it's triangular shaped, but it's not. This is something different. This thing's pointing right up at the ocean surface, and it's sitting on a pedestal. It's sitting on a pedestal. Right here's the pedestal in the bottom right there. It's kind of like rounded shape. And there it is, you know. So we're gonna call this a triangular shape on top of a pedestal. Could have been carved, who knows? But I think there was a match cut that happened here. This thing kind of looks really, you know, it's trippy looking. Right there, I'm gonna try to frame it so it's, you know, somewhere in there. But there it is. That's what I call a triangular shape on top of a pedestal. This is the sea floor on the bottom here of the screen. That's the sea floor, and this thing is coming up, protruding up towards the ocean like a stalactite, or it'd be a stalagmite, like a stalagmite, right? It's like a stalagmite, but it's not part of the ocean floor right here. Let's run it back to the rock bottom. Match cut right there. That's when it happens. Flick, and this is the rock floor, right? Now it's all rock floor up here. So I believe there was a match cut that happened here.
We saw a huge submarine, very large submarine. We don't know whose submarine, but it was right there in area on ocean bottom. We decided that it's probably something related to submarines. Maybe it is a world underwater submarine terminal, very large, really large one, like international airport.